by you. I'll be your everything, your blue sky. I go to war, fight. Damn right. Even when I've left.
Welcome back to the Professional Stepdad Show. I am your host, Frank Zaval. Thank you very much for joining me. This is episode 140 of the show. Guys, I'm reading this book. It's called Start at the End by Dave Levinsky. Basically what it is, it's a book where there are a lot of us, whether it's a business or a step parenting journey, health, financial, spiritual, we have an idea of where we want to go for the next year. Like we'll all do goal planning. Well, the smart ones will. And this book is basically what its suggestion is that you go to the end. You really define what you want the end of next year to look like, and then you reverse engineer it backwards. So then you can come up with your daily action steps in order to execute your monthly goals and your quarterly goals, etc. So again, it's going to be here in the description and it's going to be in the video. Start at the End, Dave Levinsky. Great book. All right, guys, today's episode is going to be about what? It's going to be a little uncomfortable for most of you, because most of you who, let me rephrase this. Yeah, I'm going to stop myself there. This is going to be actually pretty comfortable for anyone who's listening to this that's a step parent, because if you are listening to me right now or you're watching me right now, it means that you actively were seeking out ways to be better. And allow me to take a moment and fucking applaud you for that, because it takes guts. It takes a level of guts that most step parents, men specifically, will never find, never experience, because we don't like to ask for help. We don't like to admit fault. God forbid we show weakness. God forbid we show that we can't handle it. We don't have our hands on the wheels. God forbid that we need help. God forbid we need to ask, hey, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing here. Let me remind every one of you that when we all began our step parenting journey, we had no fucking clue what we were doing there. We just knew we needed to be there. And the smart ones asked for help. The really smart ones went out and talked to others who were already going through this. And the really dumb ones didn't say a thing because they felt like they had enough knowledge to make it through or to handle the situation. And again, it's not the way it is. And I'm talking about all different types of stepdads. There are a lot of stepdads who have their own children, who have their own bio kids, right? But they meet somebody, they fall in love, they blend the families, and before you know it, you're dealing with situations and circumstances that you never acknowledged, thought about, or accounted for. Because again, you have to blend the families. It's not always going to be the simplest thing to blend the families, to parent together. We make the mistake of drawing the line in the sand, saying those are your kids, these are my kids. You parent your way, I parent my way. We don't cross that line. That's how we're going to live, and that's just a horrible fucking way to live. Remember, disciplining is not parenting. They're not the same fucking thing. Stop confusing it. It's not the same thing. Parenting is a 50-50 fucking split. Period. That's what you're doing. You're raising young adults. So when you hear phrases like, don't allow stepdad to say anything to the kids because, he's not the real dad. Fucking what? He's a parent. He's an adult. He's teaching kids to be responsible, accountable, manners and values and routines. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Parenting and disciplining is not the same thing. So anyway, sorry, I went off on a little rant there. So the episode for today is about the importance of asking for feedback. What do I mean by that? Okay, so think about it like this. At work, let's say every month or every quarter or at the end of every year, some people get bonuses. When you were in school, you took a test let's say you wrote a paper and you had it graded by your teacher. On the paper would be like red marks. And it was basically like corrections, right? And those corrections, you look at them, you apply them, you return the paper back in, you get the grade. That is feedback. That is called constructive feedback. A lot of stepdads will not ask for constructive feedback. Gentlemen, your blended family journey, the journey that you are on right now, does not have to be as hard as you're fucking making it. It doesn't. do yourself a favor, take some time, go to each kid, go to your partner, go to the family as a whole, and ask for feedback. Guys, how do you think I'm doing? Do you think that I spend enough time with you? Do you think that I ask the right questions? Do you feel that I'm listening, or do you feel like that I'm just in the room, but I'm not really paying attention? Go to your partner. Hey, am I speaking your love language? Do you feel like we are intimate enough? Do you feel like we spend enough time together? Do I listen? And vice versa. Asking for feedback is one of the most important things that you can do as a stepdad, because it gives you this like barometer, like where you're at, where you stand, where you want to get to, and how you get there. It allows you to map out a game plan for yourself, for your partner, and for your family. Like, how are you supposed to know where to go if you don't ask for feedback? You know, I mean, I think we've all been there at one time or another, like we were lost. Maybe it's on the road, or maybe it's at school, maybe it was at the mall, maybe it was at like in a neighborhood. And at one point in time, you rolled down your window, you raised your hand, you tapped somebody on the shoulder, you said, "Excuse me, how do I get to," and you name the location. And they go, "Oh, it's not hard. You just go straight down this way, take a right. You see a building, it's red, take a left there, and then you'll end up finding your place." "Oh, thanks, I appreciate it." And then away you go. That's feedback. You have an idea of where you want to go. You know the destination. You know the name of it. You know what it kind of looks like, but you're lost, and you can use a little help. And stepdads, that's what feedback does for you. It allows you to continue through your step parenting journey, not fucking lost in the sauce. It allows you to kind of like look at what you're doing, where you're at, where you want to go, and allows you to get the game plan ready. There are so many parents, period, who give their children such fucking hard times about not having routines and not having goals, or not having good time management. And in the same breath as they're saying this to their kids, that's exactly how they live their fucking life. You know how many adults I know that have no idea how to even set a goal, let alone execute a goal? Listen to what I said there. Setting a goal and executing a goal are two different things. I could set a goal all day, but if I don't have an execution, if I don't have a game plan, then I'm fucked. If I don't have a good set of values and routines in place to get me there, I'm fucked. And as a stepdad, I had to, on a monthly basis, especially in the beginning, I had to go to each kid and I had to ask the questions. How do you guys think I'm doing? Don't get me wrong, it wasn't like a questionnaire or anything. It was just, I'd like to know how I'm doing. That's it. Give me some feedback. How would you like me? What can I do better? Little things. And I got great answers. And those answers I applied. And then I was patient. And I allowed the seeds to grow. Same with my marriage. It wasn't always, puppy dogs and ice cream. It was tough. It was very, very tough because, she's dealing with her problems. I'm dealing with my problems. I'm bringing the old me into the relationship. So is she. We're learning how to become, a good team for our kids. But at the same time, we're learning how to navigate our way through muddy waters when it comes to negative family members and how do we handle certain things. There's so many moving parts in our step parenting life that if we don't ask for consistent feedback from the ones that we love, you're going to get a sense of feeling overwhelmed. That I can promise you. I know that for a fact. So, guys, we're at the end of the year. There's only a few weeks left in December. Next year, it could be the very best year of your step parenting journey. It could definitely be that. Do yourself a favor, sit down with the family or individually sit down with everyone and just go, how do you think I'm doing? You would do it to your bosses. You would, your coaches give you feedback on why don't you ask the ones that you love? I mean, these are the people you spend the most time with. Ask for fucking feedback, stepdads. Swallow your pride, kick your own self in the ass, sit down and ask for feedback. And then FYI, when you get the feedback, good, bad, right, or wrong, It doesn't matter. Take the information, apply it, plant the seed, and move. Don't get discouraged. Don't get like butthurt. Don't be like, if somebody says, well, I really think that you're on your phone too much and you don't pay enough attention to me. And then immediately you can get defensive. That's called a reaction. You're going to have a negative reaction to something that you feel like is not a big deal. But guess what? Look, the kids are telling you it's a big fucking deal, whether you like it or not. Try to respond in a way that'll be, hey, I hear you. You know what I'll do? Again, sometimes you know this, you can't promise that you'll fix everything. But what you can do is you can promise to try. I will do my best. To your partner. Maybe, like I've been married 10 years, and as you guys know, the intimacy levels in marriages go up and down as a fucking roller coaster. And if you're not talking about it, then the problem of intimacy, whether if it's just physical touch or spending time holding each other, if you don't talk about it, the problem will grow, and then it'll boil over one day randomly on a Wednesday at 2 p.m, and a fucking all-out fight will happen, and you'll sit there going, what just happened? But guess what? If you do the work and you ask for the feedback, you'll be able to avoid those hazards. You'll be able to navigate your way around those hazards because you're actively working on it. You know what I mean? Set these little daily reminders. For me, I've got a timer on my phone, and which, by the way, I feel like I'm doing much better with my wife's love language, which is physical touch. But now that I'm talking about it, stepdads, I need to do better. I need to be better too. I have this idea that I had where I set a timer on my phone, and every few hours it goes off, and it's simple. It just says love language, and when it goes off, it's an indication to me to walk by my wife, give her a hug, give her a kiss on the neck. I mean, a light touch on the arm. It's amazing what can happen if you just feel their love. If you speak their love language, and again, the feedback also goes for your partner. As you're asking for feedback and you're getting the feedback, you're also giving it to them. Just remember that. So it goes both ways. So as you end this year, stepdads, and as you set these goals, just remind yourself. Don't remind yourself. Sorry. Make a promise to yourself that you will ask for feedback from all the ones that you love, so that the new you can get there faster, right? So that you can get to 2023 and you can begin in January with this vision of not only who you are, but who you want to be, and a roadmap, because you have all this great information because you were smart enough to ask for feedback. Have a good day, everyone. Hey, thanks for listening to the show. Listen, if you know a stepdad who is in need of any of this information, do me a favor right now. Hit that subscribe button and share this episode with them as fast as possible. Did you do it? Okay, you did it.
Quiet on the set, please. Thank you, everybody.